she was my sister, absolutely. Anti-favor. Go ahead and make our family proud. But as a Nigerian, you don't expect me to be happy that we are losing one of our best talents in recent years.
Nigerian athletes FAVOUR Ofili has caused a lot of controversy for our decision to switch our allegiance from Nigeria to Turkey. And of course, this has caused a lot of debate, with some on our side saying the system failed her, while some are calling it an act of betrayal. Now, of course, this is Crossfire, brought to you by Live Scorebet. I am Anushile Jimmy Anushile. We are here to discuss whether or not FAVOUR Ofili was right to switch our allegiance. On one side, I have with me Tunde Young, and on the other, I have the historian of the game, the one who sits on the right hand of the Most High, who holds the annals of history. I know why I am, hailing you. I saw that episode on The Heat where you were blushing as Temi was,
We could do better.
I could. All right, as I said, I have Tosi Abayomi here with me. Now, Tosi, let's start with you.
No, you start with Tunde. Tunde,
all right, so today, what do you think about FAVOUR Ofili's decision to switch from Nigeria to Turkey?
Obviously, it's a complicated issue. A lot of people feel very passionately about this, and of course, as Nigerians, generally, we're anti-establishment, and rightly so, because the establishment has not done anything for anybody. Let us make that very clear. Whether it is the AFN or even the N itself, that's the Nigeria country. but I understand. I understand why she would do it. Like, don't get me wrong. I understand. The cost at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, the cost at the Paris 2024 Olympics. I understand that. Clerical errors, we keep claiming. I get it. And she's only 22. She has her whole life ahead of her. And she probably, wants to represent the country that, will take care of her best and also pay her quite well. It is understandable. If she was my sister, absolutely. Anti-favor. Go ahead and make our family proud. But as a Nigerian, you don't expect me to be happy that we are losing one of our best talents in recent years. It will never make sense to me. I will never support it. I understand it, but I don't support it. That's simple. And again, I have no delusions of grandeur. FAVOUR Ofili does not need my support. She's well within her rights to switch nationalities. She's well within her rights to wear the red and white of Turkey at the next Olympic Games in LA. I'm also well within my rights to say that it's nonsense. I'm very much well within my rights to say, as a Nigerian, that is absolute balderdash and blasphemy and the ultimate act of betrayal. And let me contextualize this a bit, because I know the average Nigerian doesn't care about athletics that much. At least not as much as you care about football. Let me put it into context for you. Imagine now, who is our biggest star boy in football? Ademola Lookman, Victor Osimhen. Yeah. One of those two. Now that you already accept them as Nigerians, they are the highest level of Nigerian excellence in sports. Imagine if Osimhen wakes up tomorrow and says he's enjoying the love in Galatasaray and it was possible to switch like that in football and just says, you know what, I'm Turkish now. Would that sit well with you? If Ademola Lookman, for example, even though he actually did, wanted to play for England initially and things did not work out as usual, and switch to Nigeria, and now that I fall in love with him, if he switched, if he played for England before playing for Nigeria, if he played for England and never played for Nigeria, nobody will feel somewhere about it because, born in England, he's playing for England. But if he was playing for Nigeria first, and then now remembered God save the Queen, God will punish you. That's how Nigerians think. And it is simple to you cannot, it's people are already attached to you. That's what I'm saying. If FAVOUR Ofili switched allegiances as a teenager who has never represented Nigeria before, no more. We've seen it with other athletes. We've seen Nigerian athletes representing Qatar, but it's mostly, before Nigerians form an emotional connection with them, before they wore the green and white of Nigeria on the biggest stage. That is still understandable. But believe it or not, as much as we are all anti-establishment, at this stage of FAVOUR Ofili's career, yes, the AFN has failed her multiple times, but also the AFN and Nigeria have invested into her at this stage. You can say the level of investment is not enough. It's not up to what Turkey will have invested into her. Fine. You can say that their incompetence has also cost her. Fine, two things can be true. If you want to watch this show and enjoy yourself, you have to have the mental capacity to hold two different thoughts.
Open-minded.
So if you don't,
Sorry.
be in the comments doing whatever you wish to do. So as I was saying, that is true. But the simple truth is also that the AFN have invested into her. And at this point in time, it is sad for that investment to evaporate like this at 22 years old. And I actually think this is probably the only time you will hear me publicly compliment any Nigerian federation. But I actually want to give them credit for not standing in our way. Because most people think that she could have done this without AFN permission. It is not true. According to what athletics rules, you need permission of the federation that you are going to and the federation you are coming from. Except you want to change nationality via marriage. By that, you would have had to marry one sultan over there. If you want to change it by marriage, then you don't need the permission of where you are coming from. You need permission of where you are going to. So if she had married a Turkish person, she would just need the Turkish permission and she would get it. But if she know how to do it by marriage, you just want to be FAVOUR Ofili and you want to go and run for Turkey, you need both permissions. And AFN gracefully gave it to her. I wouldn't have given it to her. And I'm a better person.
Yeah, but like you said, they were the ones who caused it with their clerical errors.
It is what it is. It is what it is. It's a delicate situation. Congratulations to everybody involved. More to come.
More to come. That sounds ominous. So, Tosin, let us have your insights.
The truth is, people expect too much from Nigeria. And the simple truth is that Nigeria as a society, Nigeria peaked around 2010, 2011, 2012. Nothing good has come from this country around since that time, honestly, because everything, and especially let's even just focus on sport. I can talk about it in terms of governance, I can talk about it in terms of sports, I can talk about it in terms of music. Yeah, so Nigeria peaked around that time and we are just starting to reap the benefits. So FAVOUR Ofili wants to change. Why won't she? If she views herself as an elite prospect, why won't she? When was the last time that Nigeria went to the Olympics and had any expectation of medals from the main track and field events? Not the long jump, because we will say, oh, yes, Grume won, like the main track and field event, which is the sprints. The 4x100, the 4x400, 100, 200, 110 meter hurdles. When was the last time Nigeria went to the Olympics and had expectations of a medal? When? It has been slowly declining, but a lot of people do not pay attention to it. You put on the television, 2024, no medal. 2020, no medal. You go to 2016, Rio, no medal. 2012 in London, no medal. I think the last time Nigeria actually won a medal in the main track and field event will be 2008. So from 2008 to 2025, how many years is that? That's 17 years. And even then, it was also, I think it was a bronze medal. But before then, Nigeria had a rich history of producing a lot of sprint athletes, especially in the 4x100, 100 meters. But where are they today? Where is the structure of continual development? It's not there. So you get a particular level after winning in 1984 in Los Angeles, winning Barcelona in 92, winning Atlanta in 96, winning Sydney in 2000, winning Athens in 2004, winning Tokyo in 2008. Yes, you've created a rich history of winners. But that's not it's literally applicable to football. Like Nigeria used to be a footballing giant. When I say when we talk about football, if you look at from that 2008 downwards also in Nigerian football, you see that Nigeria, bronze medal, silver medal, bronze medals, it's the same thing in AFCON. We go to we had went to the Olympics, we won a silver medal, won a gold medal in 1996. Nigerian sports peaked around that 2010. Ever since then, it's decay. Whatever sport you are looking at, it has been a decay since then. So why Ofili wants to represent another country? Why won't she? You think if the same way there is a replacement theory in football, let me explain the replacement theory in football. The replacement theory in football is that we are going to destroy the grassroots football system in Nigeria. Then we will now start hunting for half-caste players and integrate them into the... You think if they found a half-caste athlete that was to represent Nigeria, I think they would not have thrown away FAVOUR Ofili. That's the priority of the Nigerian Sports Commission and the sports administrators in Nigeria. A foreign athlete that cannot make it for the country he or she wants to represent, then we give them the opportunity to wear the green and white. The people that actually were born in Nigeria have the vision and want to make Nigeria proud. They see you as... they don't really rate you like that. It applies even in places of work. That's just the simple truth. So I'm just telling you that, like, the mentality of Nigerian government and the sports administrators in Nigeria is that they are doing you a favor. They are doing you a favor. I've seen many posts, I'm not going to mention any names, of Nigerian athletes going to weeks before international tournaments like Commonwealth Games, like Olympic Games, or maybe Diamond Leagues, and they go and kneel down for God. There are pictures on social media, you can check them, that God now said, this is my adopted daughter, she came to visit me. The posts are there. They treat them as if they're like they are beggars. That's the simple truth. They treat them
maybe
like...
they're just respectful.
Okay. Maybe you know more than me. Maybe I know more than you.
Yes, actually. As a matter of fact.
Shut up, my friend. That is how they treat Nigerian athletes. They don't treat them, they treat them substandard. And if that is the way you are going to treat someone like FAVOUR Ofili, who believes in her talent, who made several records, obviously running for, I think she ran for LSU in the NCAA, was able to get a couple of records, made some indoor records also. If she believes in her talent that she can actually get to the level whereby she can get an Olympic medal, yes, it's an individual achievement, but it also brings like recognition to your country. But it's mainly an individual achievement. If she believes she can get to that level, and Turkey will help her get to that level, that is the best decision for her career, and we should support her, obviously.
Well, all right, thank you. So, now that FAVOUR has switched, we can't do anything about that again. Do you think that there's anything that can be done to stop this from happening in the near future?
Yes, absolutely. I blame World Athletics for this entirely. The switching allegiance rules just simply do not make sense, especially when you look at it from the perspective of football, and even though there are two separate governing bodies. But even if you want to be as loose, let's use basketball for example. The international basketball, you can be as loose as possible. Just get the passport of whatever country you want to. However, you get the passport, no concern feedback. Once you get the passport, you can represent that country. But that's not after you have represented another country. It's before. You cannot get a Nigerian passport, and when you not play for Nigeria for like 3-4 years, that's okay, I want to go and represent the US, then you now go back. This is not club activities. In football, it's not just about getting the passports. In football, it's actually about where you are from. The rules of switching allegiance are much stricter. And if you have played a certain amount of games for a country, if you have played a competitive game, you can still switch allegiance, but it's going to be much harder. If you have not played up to 3 friendly games, you can definitely switch allegiance to a country that you are from, not just any country that you want. Not just any country that is offering you passports. So that makes more sense to me than what do you mean in athletics, anybody can just wake up and say, you know what, I'm feeling very Turkish today. you know what, I'm craving some turkey. And just like that, we lose our best athletes. I don't think that's fair. I don't think it should work like that. Yes, you should be able to switch allegiance as you can in every sport, but you should have a valid claim. It's not the reason you to switch allegiance should not be just this country is offering me money and they're offering me a passport, because that's essentially what the current system is. There should be a valid claim. I'm getting married into this country as a citizen, or I share dual citizenship with this country. So it's not that I'll just wake up one morning and decide which country do I want to run for next Olympics and do it. Then maybe the next Olympics, which country you can run for the entire Southeast Asia in your career. That doesn't make any sense to me. Make the rules stricter. Also, if you have represented a country at international level, you should not be able to switch anymore. You have represented, let's even put the bar high and say, if you have appeared at the Olympics for a country, World Championship will give you World Championship. Commonwealth Games will give you Commonwealth Games. National Games will give you all those ones. But if you have represented a country at the Olympics, which is the pinnacle of this sport, you should not be able to, like, there are images of FAVOUR Ofili at the last 2 Olympics in green and white. And the next Olympics, she will be in red. And she will have a different name. It's the same person. You have to explain that to some people.
What do you mean she have a different name?
Yeah, she will change her name now. She will most likely change her name to be FAVOUR Ofili or something Turkish.
Ofiliakov.
Ofiliakich. Or something like that. I don't know. But the rules do not make sense to me. What athletics needs to step in. Also, another thing that needs to happen to stop this is you yourself as the federation. Why is everybody always trying to leave you? As the toxic ex that you are, I'm speaking to you. Why are women always trying to leave you? Means check yourself. What am I doing wrong? How am I treating these women? Am I doing the best I can to provide care, love, and support?
Are you talking to
Do they
him
feel
on the
safe?
federation?
Do they feel secure? Do they feel proud to put on my shirt? Or even take theirs off? These are the important questions. I need everybody in the AFN to take a long hard
the
look
AFN, right?
at themselves, which they will not. Because one of the criteria for being a federation in Nigeria, you have to swear an oath that you will not do anything. To win federation election in Nigeria, I solemnly pledge that I will not have the best interest of anybody at heart. I will continually sabotage the effort of my athletes and then demonize them when they eventually run away. That sounds familiar because that's your tactics, it's your MO as well. But let me make it very clear. As long as Nigeria as a whole is not good, the full country, medical doctors are living in droves. Tech bros living in droves. Cybersecurity experts living in droves. Anti-cybersecurity experts living in droves. Even those ones, as they are living, they are waiting for them at the airport. They say, come on to me, you fool.
Come on to me, oh, you foolish already.
You what you're doing is not in this country. We're not the waiting. We give you visa and you go do celebration for church. Come, maybe you don't get sense. But the point is, everybody is leaving this country. Everybody is leaving this country. Even me, I'm not leaving yet. But if ESPN deportes or something, I'm like, me llamo Tunde Young, ¿cómo estás? Por favor. I will speak something. I will speak something. Do you feel me now? So we need to address why everybody wants to leave this country, because they're leaving to go and progress. Nobody really wants to. No, I don't think FAVOUR Ofili wants to be Turkish. Being Turkish is not even fly. I don't know one fly person from Turkey. What has Turkey actually said? Oh, that dude that shot that gun at the Olympics.
Oh yeah,
that guy's fly. Apart from him, nobody in the history of Turkey has been fly.
You can see they are women volleyball players. But let's leave that one.
I'll take your advice for it.
That's
But that's it. That's it. AFN fix up, World Athletics fix up, and everybody leave Nigeria.
Who will marry me?
You.
Umike. I don't do. So, Tosin, Tunde has given us what he thinks that the federation can do to stop a repeat of this FAVOUR Ofili saga. Do you agree with him, or do you have other measures that I think can be put into place?
Tunde just basically copied and pasted everything I said.
As how?
He said literally what I said, that Nigeria as a society peaked in 2010.
Yeah, but you
11,
didn't
12.
offer solutions now.
Does he have?
You put problem down, boy. You have
I need to
help
be
us.
slapping you before you start this show.
It's part of what we're talking about.
This is how he treats athletes.
He said it.
Maybe I work for AFN. As a country, the society peaked in the early 2010s, 11, 12. And as a result, the best minds in this country have found a way to export themselves away. It's just common sense. Now, how do you remedy that? The truth is, we as Nigerians, we are not yet at the bottomless pit. We are almost there. We are almost there. A lot of things are unfolding.
The bottomless get end.
Yeah, when you are the bottomless pit with that, there is no future. Say that like one of the problems, like sports is failing, but politics is booming. You understand? Like,
So they should become politicians.
so like you can still like once everything in this society collapses and fails, Nigeria will find a solution. But until then, the reason why FAVOUR Ofili's situation will keep happening and happening time and time again is, let me just tell you the basic reason is that FAVOUR Ofili sees the past generations that those ones actually did well for Nigeria. The Olasoji Fasubas, the Blessing Okagbaris, the rest of them, like all those people, like Okpara, Udobong, all those guys. Where are they today? What positions are they? Those people are not even involved in the administration of athletics in Nigeria. You have some fat stomach guy from one political elite family.
Well, that rules you out.
That did you think I was talking about you? Oh my God.
Now God will
They know they find your kind for that side. You have some like I remember during my early days in journalism in 2015, 2016. I once went to the House of Assembly to interview
With Lord Lugard.
the State House of Assembly to interview the head of sports in the House of Assembly to talk about like some of the This guy is a dumbass. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know jack. Literally.
Hopefully the same person doesn't still have the job.
He literally still head on. He still wins the seat in his constituency. Me and the girl that went there, he literally was trying to collect the girl's number so that he can hook up with her. Like, these are the people that are in
You
charge
sound
of...
jealous that I didn't ask.
No. I can't be jealous.
If you offered, you might have accepted.
There's no jealousy there. I'm not gay. But it's not... Like, the whole point of it is that, like, these people, you check their name and you see that like this guy doesn't even have anything to do with sports. He's just there because one quota system of one godfather has put him there. The people who have actually went through blood and sweat and tears to actually represent Nigeria at the highest places, they are not there.
Maybe he has another way of getting
They
there.
are not there. And that's like, we have, it once happened before that like there was a wrestler who, I'm not going to mention names. There was a wrestler who...
Daniel Egali that stopped your life.
But you had your time.
I'm going to mention name. And you met.
Okay, we'll call it that if you need.
We once had a wrestler who decided to represent Nigeria and use the opportunity to go to Canada and file for asylum and represent Canada. What happened? He played for... He did his wrestling stuff for Canada, came back to Nigeria, and is lord over the people that represented Nigeria.
Yeah, it's hierarchy in Bayelsa State, right?
Before he became the Bayelsa State head of sports, he literally became the federation. That's somebody that decided to represent another country. So this FAVOUR Ofili that you are seeing, in 20 years' time, all our peers that decided to represent Nigeria, they may be doing Bambiala in the next 20 years. And she may come back and say, don't worry, just put me in charge of sports in Nigeria. I'll take care of everyone. She'll just be driving a Range Rover and be like, all of you are fucked that. You understand? So, like, the whole point of it is, if we do not treat the people who have represented this country well, the likes of the past generation, and the new generation are already seeing that they do not treat people who represent the green and white well. One, you've already created the avenue for them to start exporting themselves out of this country, and that will continue to be the case. So you need to remedy that first before you now start complaining about people languishing and looking at better options for their career and for their families. That's just the simple truth.
All right. So was FAVOUR Ofili right to switch our allegiance from Nigeria to Turkey? That is the question here. Do you agree with that, or do you think that this is an act of betrayal like most Nigerians are saying? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. I am Jimmy Anishilowo, and this is Crossfire, brought to you by Life's Covet.